Linda, over to you. Can you just tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, so great. Thanks, Alison, and thanks for having me today. So I am the Student Recruitment and Marketing Officer at the college, which actually involves lots of different things. So as well as student recruitment and marketing, I'm also involved in events and lots of other things as well. This is quite a busy time just now because the students have just started, so they just came back to the college on Monday. Quite a unusual situation because they've all joined us online for the first time. So it's been really great to see how involved the students are and also the staff as well, getting involved in everything. And yeah, it's really good to have everybody back.
Fab, yeah. Such different times for everybody, isn't it? Is there, what's the thing you like best about what you do? And is there a story to that?
Yeah, I think probably the variation of my role is probably what I like best. We're quite a small college, so we have around 50 students a year. So we're not big in terms of kind of education. Dundee College, Dundee University, Abertay, the local institutions are obviously much bigger than us. So it does mean that, yeah, I am involved in lots of different things. So I do like the variation. So last week I was involved in the student induction. So I organised that and was involved with the students there. And then this week I'm looking at kind of student recruitment for January. We're looking at what we can do for next year. So kind of thinking ahead, as well as, yeah, dealing with the students who are here just now. So yeah, the variation definitely is what keeps me on my toes and keeps it interesting.
Fab. And sort of on a more local level, what would you say your favourite thing was about Dundee and Angus?
I like that Dundee is a city, but it's quite small and compact. I don't think I appreciated Dundee until I was in a job where I did lots of international travel and lived in big cities for a couple of weeks at a time. And it would take you a couple of hours to do what now takes me maybe like half an hour to walk. And yeah, just the ability to walk everywhere, yeah, it's quite compact and easy to get around. And I like that it's quite calm. I don't think I would have been able to cope living in London or any other big city during the kind of lockdown periods, and even just now, like seeing photos of people in the bigger cities and things. I think I quite like being in Dundee, and I quite like that we're in quite a small city, but there's still lots going on. You may have seen that we've got the big Ferris wheel down at the Celestial Gardens at the moment, which is really great, and I think that'll be really exciting. And we've got the V&A, which I absolutely love. I've got membership there and absolutely love going to visit that. So I think, yeah, there's lots going on, but it's still quite small and compact, and yeah, it's good.
That's a good answer. I like that. I mean, even as you're saying that, I think the thing I love is that we know a lot of each other. So, our relationships are really strong, aren't they? And there's a real willingness for people just to kind of crack on and do things, and a good sense of kind of strong will to want the city to do better. So yeah, that's fab. But yeah, you're right about them. Haven't been on that wheel. It's Lesser Gardens yet, but it's definitely got to be on the list of things to do before it disappears off. What another question I'm just asking everybody: what's your favourite time of year and why?
It's funny, I hadn't really thought about this much until you'd asked this question. I don't think I'd really appreciated what I do enjoy about the different times of the year. And I think for me, I would say, especially this year, because of being at home during lockdown during this time of year, I think it was spring for me. I think I really appreciated the nice weather. We just moved into a new house last year, so we spent a lot of time doing up the garden. Got to sit outside, which we wouldn't normally do. I lived in a flat up until kind of last year, so never really sat outside much. And things like putting out the washing, absolutely love putting out the washing. That's my new favourite thing to do. It's really sad, I know, but I really like it. And yeah, I think for me, spring, learning about the garden, learning about the different flowers and plants and what you can do and what not to do and things like that as well. So yeah, that's been good this year.
It is amazing what difference it makes having a nice outdoor space to kind of be able to use, particularly when we're locked down. And that kind of, I think, also goes back a bit to what you were talking about the city, which is, people that are really cooped up when we're not able to move around as much. Just the kind of the toll on how you go about your job is really difficult, isn't it? And I take my hat off to you if you've got green fingers and you're making the most of your garden, because again, that's kind of an aspiration for me that I never quite managed to pull off. So that sounds really great.
Oh no, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I have to get my mum to help me. But I've been quite lucky during lockdown as well. I've got to know my neighbours quite well. I live in a terraced house, so they're both sides are quite close to me. But one side are very good at gardening and flowers and things, so they've been giving me lots of tips. And on the other side, my neighbour has been helping me like cut the grass and helping do things like that. So yeah, that's been quite good.
Mm. And I think also the kind of the pace of life that we've had this year has allowed that wider sense of community to come out in maybe ways that, it didn't before, as you kind of, jump in your cars or wherever at 8:30 in the morning and disappear off for the day. But that does tie in really well to my next question, which is, I mean, we're not fully in lockdown, and there's, possibilities of other restrictions and whatnot. But what's the thing that you're missing most about the current environment?
It's funny because we've been back at work now for just over 2 months, so I'm actually missing lockdown and I'm actually missing being at home. So, as I say, I got to know my neighbours quite well. Both are retired, so when I was working, I didn't really get to see them and get to meet them because obviously they were maybe there during the day and then we wouldn't see each other at night. So the fact that I was in during the day meant that I got to kind of meet them and got to know them quite well. And it's been quite good since being back at work. They've been really good at like taking the wheelie bins in and stuff like that, which might not have done before if we hadn't got to know them quite well. So yeah, I'm actually missing being at home. It's quite strange being in the office. I think that mix of being at home and being in the office would be quite nice. Maybe not fully at home or not fully in the office. That kind of balance between kind of home life and work. I think I got it a bit better, at it during lockdown. Like you, started doing a bit more walking and running and that sort of thing. So I do miss that. It's been hard to keep that up being back in the office because I'm spending more time commuting to and from work and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm kind of the opposite to everybody, missing lockdown.
My next question started off when we were, fully in the midst of kind of the early weeks of the crisis, asking people how their work had changed. And I think nearly everybody's work has changed during what we've gone through this year. But how has your role changed, and what does the future hold?
So my kind of day-to-day role, I would say, hasn't actually changed that much. A lot of what I do, I can kind of do from anywhere. So working at home for me all the way through lockdown wasn't really that different. And a part of my job is kind of out of the office anyway. So I'm kind of used to having to work in a hotel room for 2 weeks at a time. So this obviously was a bit longer, but not really that different to what I was used to before. What I would say has changed is obviously we couldn't get out and meet students. So we couldn't actually go out to events. We couldn't go out to schools. A lot of what we do now is online. So we held a lot of virtual events. Our open lecture series, we moved that online. We held an open day in the summer, which was online. We held the student induction this week, which was online as well. And we're actually planning the open lecture series, which will start again at the end of this month on the 22nd, will be a virtual open lecture. And we're planning to do that probably for the rest of the year. We hold a symposium each year in November, which again will be held online. So we have moved a lot of stuff online, but it's not actually been that difficult to do. It's actually been quite straightforward, obviously, apart from learning kind of how to work all the technology and make sure that the people maybe doing the lecture also know what to do and how to work things. We've done a lot more digital marketing because obviously we couldn't get out and about to see students. But we also have been using WhatsApp a lot more, so to stay in touch with students. So it has meant it's become a little bit more personal than maybe it was in the past. So, and I'm not sure if that's going to change next year, whether we'll get out to schools or to events or not. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But we're quite prepared for online events for the foreseeable future.
And when we are all much more able to get out freely and move around about and go to places we want to go to, what would be on your lockdown escape bucket list?
Well, I'm actually getting married next year, so I would quite like the wedding to go ahead, and also my fiance's stag do, which was meant to be in Budapest next month. I don't think is going to happen, but I'd quite like for him to get on his stag, and then my hen was meant to be in January, not too far away, just at Piper Dam, but still not looking like it's going to happen. But hopefully the wedding will still take place, just with restricted numbers, and then hopefully maybe a honeymoon, if possible. But we'd also quite like to get to some gigs and some festivals, because we're both quite big music fans, and we've not really been able to do any of that this year, for the first time in probably 5-6 years since we've known each other. So yeah, it'd be nice to get out and about and see some gigs and festivals.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you had a message for people out there about the world of work, things you've learned about the world of work and business, what would it be?
I think probably, getting the work-life home balance correct, I think, is really, really important. I think we've learned a lot from each other during lockdown, how to stay in touch with each other a bit more. It's really important to communicate. I think things like Teams has become so important. But yeah, making sure that you stay in touch with people, communicate with each other, and then make sure you have that time at home as well to communicate with the people you live with, and family and friends, I think is really important as well.
Yeah, there is a real danger that we're now busier than ever, isn't there? It's just back-to-back online meetings, and when you're actually supposed to do your kind of day job. And then I agree with you. I can remember back to in those early months of lockdown, where all you could do was go out for that hour's exercise. And I really think that's kind of that got me and my husband going out and kind of doing things an awful lot more, and it certainly got me more active. So it's tricky. It's definitely tricky to kind of get the balance going. I'm still loving the commute from the bedroom to the dining room, though. That's pretty good. But yeah, I just miss seeing people face to face so much. It's hard. But I'm loving doing these interviews. It's fab to see and just get a different perspective on people, because we just know people mostly as their work role, and we don't often, unless we follow them on social media, get to kind of know more about them as a person. So how do people get in touch with you if they want to chat or find out more?
So probably the best way is to email. So my email's l.gibson@almcollege.ac.uk. Or if you go onto the website, which is almcollege.ac.uk, you can find the contact details for me and everybody else. So if you want to know a bit more about the college, about the courses that we offer, just a bit more about what we do, feel free to get in touch at any time.
Great. And I know there's lots of resources for business and other ways that kind of local businesses can learn about different cultures and how the world of culture and work kind of crosses over so much. And I know I've attended some of the online lectures, so looking forward to kind of seeing more about those and connecting with them. So thank you so much to you, Linda, for taking part. Always interesting to hear more about what kind of makes people tick and what's going on with them. So really appreciate you taking the time to take part with us today. For those of you that are watching us on our YouTube channel, we do lots of these member spotlight interviews, and we're always looking for people that are interested in kind of taking part or want to join some of our webinars maybe and kind of speak about who you are and what you do. So massive thank you to you, Linda, and look forward to the next person in the series. Thanks.
Great. Thanks very much, Alison.
Stop.